What's going on, my peoples? I go by name the Sorcerer. I'm now going to be doing a reading, and there will be a Celtic cross spread, and the reading is for anyone that needs to know whether they need to walk away. Let's see what happens. If it resonates, I hope it helps. If not, send it back to the universe. Energy is fluid. We keep on shining and we stay rising. Hope everybody's okay. I'm feeling a little bit cold, as you know, with all my covers. That's cool. Hopefully I'll be sending out warmth energy towards you guys. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It's me shuffling. I've been tarot reading since I was 8 years old. And yeah, shout out to my mother. She was the one that taught me. Okay. Alright, 2 more. These are my clarifiers. Oh yeah. There's nothing more satisfying than shuffling my cards. Don't know what it is. I just love doing so. Okay. 2 more. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. Question is, should you walk away from your current relationship? Okay. I may add more clarifiers into the spread if I need to. Okay. Let's go and see what's happening. So the current theme right now is finding balance between giving and taking during this situation, and you might feel really restricted in doing so currently in this current moment. And I feel like there's a balance that needs to be in order for this current relationship, and I feel like that's where the struggle is, perhaps a power struggle between the pair of you. And for me, the energy that I'm getting is that it's a power struggle. It's a power struggle, and it's releasing certain elements of being completely honest about your relationship with your significant other. And from my intuition, it's a case of you needing to have these sort of conversations where perhaps the area of the restrictions are coming through these self-illusions that you've put yourself across. And you know what? Sometimes it's a case of alleviating that pressure. Alleviating that pressure during this time. And it's about now having the foresight. Like, do you really want it? Like, do you really want to be in this situation from a long-term perspective? I mean, and with this effort that you have, is the juice really worth the squeeze? You've got to ask yourself this question. Is the juice really worth the squeeze? And the question, and in this current question that you've got to ask yourself is, with this current moment, can you see yourself having this long-term plan, and can it come to fruition? You know, and it's a case of you, if doing so, it's a case of doing it with love, with the Page of Cups, you know, and it's that offering, but it has to come from a a mature conversation. Sometimes you need to have those uncomfortable conversations, and those uncomfortable conversations are very valid because it's your life. It's your life with that significant other, or it's your own happiness that you want to say to yourself, you know what, is there any value in me investing more into this relationship? Excuse me. And it's a case of you being the empress, which is guided through your intuition, showing your light towards your significant other, and any sort of illumination that you show to your partner. If there's any shadows, if there's anything that that person has sort of like kept in the dark, it is your time to shine that light on that darkness. You know, I always say that when it comes to relationships, that it's always about transparency, respect, love, care, and nurture, as it should be. But it's a case of you having that harmonious agreement between the pair of you two, and understanding that, are these goals shared? Are these goals that you have are aligned? It's all about that alignment of your viewpoints, of your goals, of their goals. And you've got to do so with love, but it has to be done in the case of like in terms of maturity. And I feel like I know when it comes to you just alleviating that pressure, which is all of these sort of like issues that you're going through, which is in the 10 of Wands. And it's a case of you really stripping down to the skeletons of your relationship, you know, because this was once a wish fulfillment that you wanted, or you've manifested. And you've got to ask the question to yourself, is this more something that I want rather than that I need? And, you know, I always say when it comes to you making your wishes, right, is if you pray for rain, you have to be ready for the mud that meets you, you know. And it's a case of understanding that while you have these wants and needs, there are also pros and cons that you have to deliberate within yourself to see whether this has mileage, kilometers, legs to the relationship. And it's all about you understanding that it's through your message and communication to your significant other, you know, and knowing your value with the clarifier of the King of Pentacles. Knowing your value. Does that other person give you that value? You know, do you feel loved? Do you feel nurtured? Do you feel careful? Do you even feel respect? Those are the things you've got to ask. Fundamentally, if it's not intrinsically in your relationship, then you have to have a giant question mark within yourself and your significant other. In your past, it's a case of you looking back and saying, you know, you're probably looking at situations in your past and you're asking yourself, there was a relationship that I've had in the past, or relationships, and you're asking yourself, was I treated better than I am in my current relationship? And this comes to your realization from the past, which is the Tower moment. And it's your aha moment that you'll say, hold on a minute. You know, it's not even a case of comparison, but it's more so you feeling that with this current relationship, it's that love. And if you don't feel like certain things are in you, that you feel like it gives you within your boonies, you know, your essence, your intuition, your heart, if it doesn't give you that feeling within yourself, then those are the questions it's worthy asking for, you know. And you've probably deliberated all of this situation with the 9 of Wands, you know. It's a case of you playing the waiting game, and perhaps you have lost your patience. You have lost your patience. That's bringing you in this current space, you know. In your crowning moment, there is a lot of imbalances with the Queen of Cups in reverse, where you feel like you've been overpouring your energy. You're putting so much into this that you don't feel there's a return. And it's not even a case of point scoring. It's a case of you feeling that if I'm giving someone that energy exchange of love, do I feel loved myself? And I feel this needs to be addressed, because you got the Magician card. And it's also understanding with the Magician card is your self-love. The Magician is number 1 in the deck, right? And I want to just let you know something. Before you've met your significant other, you was loved because you loved yourself. And that's the most important thing about understanding, that no matter what happens, you'll always feel loved because you are administering that love to yourself, that self-love, that self-nurture, that self-care. And I think that in your incoming future is coming up as the 8 of Cups in reverse. And it's you actually not running away or you moving out of the situation. It's you looking within yourself, you having that whole move and not having any other interference. So the advice I'm trying to say to you is, when it comes to you and your relationship, it should only be a situation where you two are in the house and you to talk about your issues rather than speak to A, B, C, or D. You know, it's your relationship. It's your responsibility to basically talk as you know, adults. You are responsible of being in a relationship. You are consensual of being in a relationship, and adults and mature enough to make these decisions. Therefore, you should be mature enough to deal with the issues that you currently have. And for me, it's a case of you feeling that there is a imbalance of perhaps you're giving too much, or perhaps you're taking the accountability of you taking rather than giving. But it's a case of you looking within yourself. You looking within yourself during this time. And I say this in this situation. It's a case of you taking that leap of faith. If you feel as if you need to step away from the relationship, now's the time for you to reevaluate and take that leap of faith and just be like, look, our feelings or our views on this relationship doesn't feel like it aligns together. And I'm happy to, not I'm happy, but I'll have to move with a heavy heart. But in doing so, I will do so by expanding my horizons. You know, being that Fool card, you know, going in there and saying, you know what, I need to basically say to myself, I know my value and I don't feel my value, you know? And you're going to do that by taking a step back in that whole move, as I said previously, and actually having that energy of preserving yourself, of taking that deep thoughts and looking at the pros and cons and looking within your heart, your intuition. If you really, really want it, if you really, really want to make these changes, this is the time for you to make these changes, whether you want to go or you want to stay. But from my intuition, it's saying that you want to go. The people around you, it looks like within the people around you that you have this sort of pride moment within yourself, that even though that you see the writings are on the wall, it's your pride and ego that's kicking in, that's persevering from staying in this relationship that you're not happy with, because it's about you keeping an appearance that you're okay, you know, with all the elements. You're showing that you're happy, you know, and you're doing this with you know, having that element of showing it via social media, you know, and or telling people that you're okay when you're not okay, you know. And for me, it's a case of that. It's just coming from a hollow house, from hollow walls. So when something in reality comes in such as a trouble, like an argument or an issue that you have in your current relationship, it all literally just breaks through and it will expose your relationship. But it's a case of you dropping that pride, dropping that ego, and actually looking within your inner self and saying, am I actually happy? And if you're not happy, you know what you gotta do. I feel like this is going to create a tower moment for you. You've probably had some sleepless nights. You probably have had issues regarding lack of sleep. And with the nine of swords, it's a case of that tower moment. You gotta make these changes, you know. They say prevention is better than cure, and now is the time before the divine are going to be like saying enough's enough, because it will be another karmic cycle. And spirit's saying that we're gonna have to break that karmic cycle. If it means that we have to press the red button, we will do so. But it's only for your own good. It's only for your own good, you know. Your hopes and fears, you're guided through your intuition. So if you feel it in your intuition, you got the card here, which is basically, I know it's number 2, but it's also 11, which is about your intuition, you know, understanding the pros and cons of the situation with black and white, you know, the polarity, you know, the understanding with, you know, the dark being the shadow, which gives you character, and the light, as you can see over there, which is optimism. So, you know, shadow gives you character, the light gives you that light, that happiness, and you need both of those situations to go through this situation, seeing the pros and cons. And you'll need the character within you to make these certain adjustments, you know. And this will come in a time where the energy is slow. And the reason why the energy is feeling slow at the moment is because source is giving you time to actually take a moment and actually think what you really want to do. Excuse me, because in your hopes, you want to live in the best way possible with the fire energy of your Knight of Wands. And it's a case of you saying to yourself, you know, am I just settling? Because if I'm settling, like, I'm just gonna tap out. But I know I'm not going to be happy, you know. And it's a case of you understanding that these are the things that, you know, you've got to make a tough decision, a bold decision, you know. And in your outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. And for me, the Queen of Pentacles represents having the understanding, having the rationale mind, and understanding of making a tough decision. And you're going to get your decision through signs and synchronicities. And this will be a higher calling, you know. And this is about you stepping into your power and understanding that you know your value. As you can see, the Queen of Pentacles holds the pentacle, you know. And my intuition is telling me, let me see if I can see it. My intuition is telling me it's about knowing your value. She knows her value. She knows what she can give to the world, you know. And it's a case of you administrating and knowing that you can offer something amazing, beautiful. And it's a case of you looking within your past, you know, your origin story. What makes you happy? What makes you tick with the 6 of Cups? You know, it's understanding that the feelings of love can still be there, but don't dampen that fire. If anything, raise it up, because everyone deserves to feel that fire of love, that energy. But it's about you allowing yourself to feel that way. And with this way, it's taking that leap of faith, taking that step, and understanding that a new chapter is ahead. You know, would you rather live a lie in the respects of feeling that you're basically saying to yourself, oh, I'm going to be happy, but in yourself you don't feel that way, you know? Or would you rather live your most authentic self and say, you know what, I know my value. I know that the love I have with myself, I can bring that to someone that can really, really, really not just complete it, but complement that. And that's all you want. Divine completion. It's the sorcerer. Love, peace, and light.
Sorcerer.